Chapter 4 Short Summary. It establishes the relationship between Creon and Emelin. He explains her Fey ancestry, along with the fact that everyone in her village actually hated her and was scared of her, but they couldn't get rid of her due to a magical Fey curse. And then he binds himself to her in a magical contract that says he cannot harm her, but she must help him assassinate the evil Fey queen called Mother. More detailed summary. FMC notes how insanely fast Creon flies, once again emphasizing his power over her. Creon takes her to his house on a dark spot on the Fey Island. It's magical and cozy and well furnished, but there's only one bed. Here we get the forced proximity trope. Emelin says, quote, "I was not going to sleep in his bed. I'd rather make myself at home on the floor than anywhere close to that savage body," end quote. But the next paragraph says, quote, "His movements were efficient and deliberate, even the slightest twist of his fingers measured by the inch, a creature of utter perfection, the ugliest kind of perfection," end quote. So we're supposed to believe that she's forced to sleep with him because somebody might see. And this whole thing about forced proximity and potentially being raped here is portrayed as exciting, and it's very disturbing. Uh-oh guys, where will FMC sleep? Will she be raped? How exciting. FMC affirms she will refuse to sleep with him, while also going on and on about how perfect he is. So we can tell she secretly wants to be raped, right guys? FMC begins to have a mental breakdown over losing her house, her parents, her whole life. So naturally Creon is slow to give answers and then drops a bomb that FMC is adopted on her. Creon to M, quote, "You were a foundling. They didn't dare get rid of you. Foundling's curse," end quote. She was only adopted because of foundling's curse, meaning if her adoptive parents abandoned her, they would have been cursed. Apparently everyone in her village knew except her, and somehow they all kept this a secret from her for her entire life. Very believable that nobody would ever accidentally gossip, and somehow she went 20 years without ever knowing that everyone in the village hates her because of the foundling's curse. It's a plot hole because the first chapter is her parents arguing about how to hide M's Fey magic. Why would they tell everyone in the village she has Fey ancestry? It would make more sense to do what the Dursleys did in Harry Potter and just convince people she's a bad child with bad parents and that they have to keep her under harsh discipline to make up for her bad tendencies. It does not make sense for Emelin's parents to announce to everyone that she has Fey ancestry and is protected by the Foundling's curse, but then try to hide her Fey magic from the same people. Creon also reveals that iron has no effect on him or any other Fey, but other Fey just pretend iron hurts them to deceive humans. I think this is an important point to note because when he makes the magical pact with her, she doesn't know if Fey really have to honor their magical promises, because what if that's a lie too, just like the lie that they're harmed by iron or can't cross iron barriers? How does she even know what spell he's really casting when he claims to be casting a magical binding of protection between them? Creon also reveals that FMC is the only unbound Fey magic wielder. All others are bound and unable to harm Mother with their magic. Creon explains how Mother is careful to bind all Fey babies, but that FMC's parents did such a good job hiding her that Mother never found out. This also doesn't make sense because we are shown that a lot of humans want to rebel against Mother, so why would every human physician accurately report any baby with Fey ancestry? They have a lot of incentive to lie, even if they have no clue that Mother can only be hurt by unbound people with Fey ancestry. It's not like Emelin looks any different from a normal human. It would be an impossible task to try to track down all births and ensure that no Fey male ever impregnated a human woman, even though Fey males like Ophion are shown to be very rapey later in Chapter 7. It's also a plot hole that if half Fey have a maximum power level, what's stopping Creon from just breeding an army of unbound half-Fey in secret? He's had over 300 years, and he just waits around for what? FMC accuses Creon of rushing her in front of Mother without enough information, but Creon says explaining would have been riskier. Yeah, so that's obviously not true. Why would explaining be riskier than letting Emelin blurt out stuff ignorantly in front of the extremely cruel queen? FMC also notes how Creon enjoys making her beg for scraps of info and enjoys his superiority over her. M asks Creon how they can take on the queen without her finding out. Quote, Creon just looked at me. That infuriating, impassive look again. Either he was calling me stupid for not figuring it out yet, or he was trying to make me beg for more information. He liked this, didn't he? Liked being the unchallenged authority, the high-born fae bringing his amusing human captive to her knees, M-. End quote. Then there's more rapey vibes. Quote, no, but you're strong-arming me into playing your whore regardless, end quote. Apparently their cover story is that he abducted her to keep her as a sex slave or plaything. FMC is mad he didn't ask for her consent in this plan, but he smugly points out there are no other possible plans. What? This is also not true. Creon assumes, correctly, that she wants to help overthrow Mother to weaken the Fae Kingdom. Creon then claims that other people pass by the house, so she has to sleep in his bed to maintain their cover story, rather than sleep on his couch. Quote, people pass by, would give you away, end quote. To which M responds, quote, he was right. Why was he always right, end quote. Wow, this is straight out of every romance book ever. Poppy literally said this about Hawk in From Blood and Ashes. He also claims to help her find her real parents after she helps overthrow Fae Mother. Then he non-consensually magically binds himself to FMC in a ritual spell. He pretends it's consensual, but he has a death grip on her arm, and she really has no other options here. This spell is supposed to enforce that Creon cannot harm FMC, but how would she know what spell he actually cast?